All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Shinsekai Yori, episode 11.
Wow, last episode was dark.
It was dark.
It was more than dark.
God damn it. That was pretty good, though.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, our boy's dead. He's super dead. And hey, Saki, you're alive because he saved you. He threw you away because if you had stayed, you would be dead right now.
Yeah.
Or mutated into some crazy monster.
Or just,
Yeah.
something else. But that's what Psychic Unleashed could do, or could be.
That's why this society exists. Okay.
And there we go. We understand a lot more about why the barrier exists. We understand a lot more about the just general fear and rumors and little things that kind of leak out of the kids' subconscious minds and then do end up actually creating something like that. But it was really kind of like the answer to a whole bunch of questions, like they were just talking about the exploding, what is it? The bag thing. Yeah. And then it's the, immediately in that same episode way back when they saw it, because their imaginations, their fears of that thing created it outside the barrier, and they encountered it. What do you know?
So what do you do from here on out is the question, because Saki knows what's up. So
well, she needs to go back to her parents and kind of talk a bit about sibling stuff eventually.
Right.
There's that.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing.
Oh, God. And then there's the whole situation with her friends.
The friends are probably going to need closure with Shun, but it's how much does she tell them? What kind of ways does she? I mean, she wouldn't be sullying his memory, but she might be. Yeah. She might be. Might be the one that needs to bear this burden a little bit.
The truth can be scary. The truth can be helpful. The issue that they're dealing with is essentially fear. So, do you tell the truth?
Right. Kinda. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. Wow. All right.
Okay.
Y'all, we gotta pause a second here.
Yeah.
This episode basically just took a concept that makes sense for the adults to have applied at points in this society's past into the forefront of, memory manipulation, brainwashing, selective memory implanting, putting people into their lives that aren't even really people that they have ever seen before ever, meaning that where was Ryo before this whole incident?
Oh yeah, there's
a whole bunch of things at play here that are crazy.
Whole bunch of things at play that are totally crazy. And so many things that I like about how this episode went. One, this on paper is one of the things that we have gone on the record to say that we really don't like in stories.
Nope.
This is an amnesia plot. But
it's not.
Because it was introduced in this episode, and it was also kind of resolved in this episode. Yeah, exactly. And it was the main point of the conflict. They worked on it, they made progress, so it feels good. It doesn't feel like narrative backtracking. It's just a hitch in the works that they are immediately
It introduces a new conflict. It does not resolve a previous one. So, rather excitedly, it actually accelerates the pacing of the story. Because they're asking questions, they're scaring each other. Mamoru,
understandably,
instance, he's genuinely terrified. He's like, no, please stop. I don't want to hear this.
And he didn't want to hear any of this stuff back before either, but now it's the even worse, where it's like, how many times potentially have they gone through something like this? And it's the no, maybe I sort of subconsciously am getting I have some memories of this
some
is
other
bad.
Things that might be connected to this.
Whatever the situation is, or the details, or we're in dangerous water right now, and
I don't
want
like
out.
This. I want out. Yeah, and every single one of them should have the freedom to basically say, I choose not to know. I choose not to basically invite something that could make me scared, terrified, or be in danger.
That is a very valid option.
Yeah, now one of the things that is very, very scary and important about this world here is how much is being decided for them.
Yep.
We had a really cool kind of little bit of world building just splashed in of, oh, you guys are reaching that age where you guys are going to declare who you like, so we're going to put you into pairs. Now, the reason they put them into pairs, that according to the narration, which is obviously an older Saki, is basically saying, this is going to help you find a teammate that you can work with to go through like activities, chores, just general, just helping keep things maintained well. But what it really is doing, I would say, is giving them a, it's so gross, but a building block kind of way to slot in everybody into a spot where then they can probably arrange families and arrange like maybe even like this get gross here. Bloodlines and all kinds of
definitely be a thing.
Really fucked up things.
But also potentially just minimize damage from hormonal teenagers with crazy psychic powers. Like if it's the yes, you know, that starts to happen, but you know, okay, right around when that starts to get potentially bad, then that's when we have this thing get introduced and okay, hey, here you go.
So you can see where this gets actually like really fucked, right? It's not just the like selective like manipulation, things like that. What if you just have an odd number of people in a group?
Oh, sure.
Think about it.
Odd number of people in a group. What happens if, not if, we know that memory manipulation is happening and specifically included in the whole thing of like, yes, this is Ryo. This is the natural choice, right? You know, like what the fuck? Like you're just being like, oh yeah, here's going to be your life partner for the rest of your life. And it's entirely just someone that we just picked. Like there's a part of me that wonders if the people that they use to have memories swapped with are the people that they disappeared earlier, like Amano Reiko, where it's just
to then be reused later.
To be reused later, because otherwise, well, there would be a disconnect.
Right.
You know?
That's why I don't think they're necessarily being killed, or if they are being maybe transformed, some of them aren't, and it's the thing of where no, we've got villages everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not a thing where it's just this community. We have bigger people at play that are managing large, groups of villages that then they go, okay, send somebody over there. Oh, this one needs a person. Let's take the person that's being problematic over here and zoop, we'll just insert them into this area, and they're none the wiser. We changed their memories. We did a whole bunch of stuff there.
And let's be real.
Yeah.
With all of the ways in which this is fucked, I can also come up with some ways in which maybe this is addressing very real problems.
Sure.
Even when it comes to like the kids that weren't able to, like, their power wasn't very good and so they were kind of like moved.
Yeah.
Sure, that could totally be like Ubermensch type stuff of only the strong can survive or whatever.
Sure.
But it could also be something where it's the, we don't want to have disenfranchised and people that basically aren't able to cut it in society, so maybe we move them somewhere else. Maybe it's they need to be adjusted to a different village where the median power competency is different. I mean,
it's still kind of gross.
Oh, it's still totally, but it's that will make it so that way they won't have some freak out because they'll be able to fit more comfortably into society.
Yes,
and,
there's many ways in which I would say they can set up the environment to bring people into a better feeling of comfort. The part that I think is actually more insidious than this is the idea that if they're already kind of making them pick partners right now, what's been going on with all these like kind of little developing, budding feelings and relationships and things like that, where it's I actually kind of liked Shun. Oh, did you now? Well,
we have Shun at home.
Yes, but also, Shun, you guys, well, you won't be able to procreate. So we're going to have you pick a woman.
Yeah.
Did you notice how everyone paired off immediately then with the opposite sex after that?
Well, and it was made very clear in previous episodes that the students were not conforming to like gender norms with regards to relationships.
Totally. But
now they seem to.
Now they seem to. and this is also in the same episode where we're introducing memory manipulation.
Oh, yeah. And also, once you have memory manipulation, yes, so far they're using it in a very limited way.
Yes, very limited.
Where they're not necessarily creating memories, they're just fuzzing certain ones out and then swapping.
Giving maybe old memories of someone to someone else.
Changing the association. Okay, cool.
Which might have been why they left Shun. Is that they brought Shun out, they're like, oh, let's put him like under hypnosis or something. We'll look into his mind, see what's going on.
See if we can fix the problem directly.
We can't fix the problem. Harvest all the memories that you need. Get them prepped to put into another boy that looks Shun-esque. Send Shun out beyond the barrier. Let him basically kill himself. Then we'll bring in the next thing here. But I do want to bring up something that's rather odd here. If the groups are 6 generally, and it's do you remember Reiko?
Yep.
Do you remember Reiko? Nobody remembers Reiko. We remembered Reiko, but now they're like, oh shit, Reiko was there. Why did we have 4? Or why did we ever have 5? Every group has 6. That doesn't make sense. But now I'm thinking about it. Wait a minute. Fuck. What if Shun was actually the most problematic of them, but they rolled the dice as to they have an odd number. We need to have an even number so that they pick each other within the same group for the setup of having life partners or something. And it's the, Shun seems the most problematic. He's having some issues there, but any of them could have been the one that was the 5th that got removed.
Oh, gotcha.
Because maybe think about it.
Yeah, so there's the difference in Shun's situation versus Amano Reiko's. Shun was hyper competent and ended up losing control essentially. Reiko was not competent enough.
Now.
So maybe it's something where the situations where they're not competent enough are more common.
Right.
So
lots of kids end up just disappearing.
Right.
In that way,
and it's not as thorough of a disguising of what happened, right?
Right. Whereas they got transferred, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, if you think about it,
that probably would happen all the time.
Amano Reiko not being replaced, on some instances, it seems like something that would be obvious of why wouldn't the adults have noticed that? Because that's a clear why does this group have 5 instead of 6?
Yeah.
But maybe they just didn't have enough people.
Yeah.
It's the, oh, sorry,
we don't have an easy transfer right now.
We don't have an easy transfer right now, so
we're gonna have to wait a year.
We'll just have to wish for the best and do everything we can.
But if we need to, we'll just transfer one of them away at some point.
That
literally could just be the thing.
Yeah.
I think that this whole declaring your feelings kind of thing is way more gross on the surface than we give it credit for.
Oh,
because it's the thing of where it's the, wait, why? What if I say no?
I don't want
to declare who I am desiring for this partner thing here.
Yep. It's the society basically getting into the most intimate business of these kids. Now, officially, it's not the most intimate business.
No, it's just your activity partner for the next. Well, let me find the line here. It was for the next season of
Right.
What was it, cleaning or something?
And let's be real. It is possible, even though that's not the vibe I get, but it is possible that this whole thing of it being about who you like is potentially an emergent property, and it's not necessarily supposed to be that, but they're actually just trying to teach them a lesson of hey,
prep work for various events, daily cleaning, but that's the outward reason.
Right.
Then she says, but because each student had to nominate who they wanted as their partner, in reality, it was a public event at which students disclosed whom they liked.
Right.
If you noticed, every single pairing at that point was a straight pairing. Was seeming to be, at least, because we see the back of some heads here.
Right.
But stereotypical designs being assumed here.
Well, and also, one of the other things that's interesting about this, because assuming that the emergent behavior of it being about who they liked is the intended result, right?
Sure.
By the society. I could totally see it also being something where then that potentially causes more harm than good because people maybe don't know who they actually, are into at this age, right? Or
you guys are the last two. You guys are both exactly. Picked. I guess it's just you two then.
Right, like that seems very much like something that could cause problems unless you had a society that was so good at imposing the you follow the rules because this is what the rules are, then that becomes not a problem. But then I don't see as much of what this system addresses, if that makes sense.
What it also could be is it's not just I mean, this is, of course, something where we're going way too deep onto right now, but it's the thing of where this doesn't have to be something where it always goes this way. This is just something where the students kind of see it this way. And it's no, obviously there's going to be a percentage, maybe just a small percentage, though, where they're running the numbers here, where they just are like, oh, there's no synergy here. Yeah. We'll fix that later. For now, this is like from like a higher percentage than not. This is generally what we're doing. This is what it ends up pushing you to be, is then, oh, what do you know? Everybody that picked their partners right around this point, they generally end up together because of the way society kind of maybe funnels them in that direction, which is,
From another standpoint, though, I will also say that I could see the potential reason of why the society would think, oh, no, this could be a good idea.
Well, of course they think it's a good idea.
No, right. But like the, in order to also minimize romantic teenage fallout that could turn into power like use and stuff, we're going to take the people and put them with the person that they like without it necessarily being romantic, so that way they can see if they actually like that person.
But they choose.
No, right. But because the context of them choosing the person isn't officially romantic, then it's the thing of you can see if you actually get along with that person, so that way we don't have, less romantic disputes or something like that.
Yes. Yes. Like the thing is that they're combining this at the same time when they're saying that they're about to go through puberty, which I like that they brought up the idea of puberty here, because it's no, we haven't all really gone through puberty yet. That's something maybe we've started, but we haven't hit.
We're still in that process.
We're still in that beginning process. And when they talked about puberty, Mamoru did, saying that, oh, not just your face is going to change, your body's going to change, but your personality will change. And I think that's a very real, actual point about puberty. Yes, people's personality changes. But we're in a supernatural, dystopic sci-fi world where
that could have pretty drastic consequences.
Where it could also make someone potentially, like you were saying, a little bit more volatile. Or it could be this is where it's a point that needs to be addressed by society in a little bit more abrupt kind of way. So it's pick a partner. So all that stuff gets put into a one-on-one situation. Yep. And then, what do you know? 75% statistically, end up together from there.
This
it's so convenient.
This very much feels like the thing where at some point one of the people is just looking at basically a drawn up spreadsheet on a piece of paper and is like, okay, I like these numbers.
These numbers are good.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. That's all it is. But yeah, Shun. Let's get back to Shun here.
Shun.
X. I loved that.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
It's something fucky is going on. There's a person that we don't know who they are. We can still talk about them and everything and have them exist in our minds, even if we don't know who it is, what they look like, etc.
It's a very good bit of writing to basically figure out how kids would have to talk about something that is actively confusing their own memories, but also something that is something where maybe they need to be a little bit secretive as to how they talk about it. So the idea of just having a code name for it, that's absolutely a kid thing. So when we talk about this, we're really meaning this. So the adults don't know. It's like, that's
they get to so algebra lessons and they're like, okay, so we really need to find X, right? We need to find X, everybody. I'm really having trouble with finding X here.
That sounds like the perfect meme. Saki just gets to 8th grade and says, solve for X or Satoru. Find X, and just PTSD.
Satoru, tonight, can you help me find X?
Oh no! Why is her mind always on X? Oh God. But we found the spot where his village was. I loved how they used the kind of the process of deduction to figure out, based on what we know, where are the gaps that make basically make it work here, and them going through that process there. But did you notice the subtle bit of exposition that they snuck into there?
Which bit?
Basically how they found this place.
Oh, which places have forests and stuff?
Yes, not just the forests, the terrain, that specifically, but also the idea that they just said all the names of the villages.
Uh-huh.
And did you notice the names kind of had like a little bit of a, I don't know, a little bit of a naming convention?
Okay.
So let me go back to them here. Let me find the list. Oh, the subtitles. Hold on. Here we go. I think that there's a very simple aspect to them. It's the what's in the area, right?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is.
Right. Doesn't have to be creative names. Yeah.
Right. But the names to me feel a little like something that would be named by a simpler people.
Okay. I mean,
do you know where I'm going with this?
No, I think so.
Yeah.
But I think so. Even though they have psychic abilities, they're still humans.
Yes.
I feel like humans generally are not very creative with names.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you.
Especially if they're trying to have a blank slate where they don't make any connections to previous societies. So it's just all right, what's here? You know?
Uh-huh.
Like,
right. I'm totally with you. But then, to me, personally, it's why did we call this Tree Village? Well, we call it Fallen Tree because of a story that happened way back.
Right, there was a really big tree and lightning struck it and it fell over.
Right. Yeah. But then we have White Sand, which to me, personally, feels...
it's the beach. Or...
Yes, totally. Yes, it's the one by the water, for sure. Right. But it's also the thing of where it's the... Why not just sand?
I mean...
You know what I mean? Have you experienced other kinds of sand that make you think that this has to be white sand?
I feel like that might be going a bit...
No, I know, but that's the thing. It feels like it's the...
Well, okay.
There's two elements here. There's the simplicity of the names that feel kind of boring, where it's the, why don't we have it be actually like names of people? For one, that's where a lot of like someone's last name, for instance.
Okay.
That's what a lot of towns and places and things like that generally tend to be called. So sometimes. The other one is these are named after very simple, I see this, I call it this place, you know?
There's a town in our state that is called Concrete because they make concrete.
There's concrete, yes. Yeah. No, I'm with you, Jacob. But I feel like this might be a connection to the monster rats. I think it does.
The reason why I don't think it is.
Okay.
One, they have much weirder names in this show. But well, actually no, that's not one. Just as a throwaway thing, I think the names in this show have been pretty weird in general. So I'm not inclined to look at the names and see
that kind of stuff
as being much meaning.
Okay, sure.
Two, this is a society that's been around for a long time. I think if it was something where the towns were originally like monster rat towns and then they took them over or something.
Sure.
That would have been so long ago. They probably would have tried to erase that or whatever. You know, like this is not a new society. You know.
Okay. That's totally fair. I get what you're saying. I feel like there are times where this show turns me into basically someone that digests every bit of exposition given with the I'm going to dig as deep into it as I can.
I'm on the trail of something. I don't know yet.
But in general, I would say my favorite thing about this story is the way they sneak exposition around without really kind of giving you like a, hold on, you're about to be exposited to.
Well,
and it's the thing where, personally, when you write like that, that means you're trying to slip things past the audience, so it's in the subconscious, but it's not something that they're consciously going to think about until it becomes relevant later.
There's the exposition that is just standard exposition, whatever.
Right.
Okay. There's the exposition where
pay attention, you know.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
But then there's also things that aren't necessarily exposition, but they say things in certain ways because they want to evoke a certain feeling tone
totally
from the audience because this is a very atmospheric show. The show wants us to feel a bit creeped out, on edge, suspicious. Where's the problem? Where are they being watched from? Where are the forgotten memories? All of that.
The
stuff,
sick thing is that they're always being watched.
Yeah, exactly.
Those angles are not there because a person is behind the pillars watching them. It's just they're always being watched. Doesn't matter where they are.
Because one of my favorite things about this episode is how, with all of the stuff that happens here, I still get the sense that this is something that the society has dealt with before.
Yes.
Because the society still exists, right? So the fact that Saki is specifically being taken to, see Satoru's grandma, who apparently is on the ethics committee, because that's just something we don't talk about or anything, that very much feels like the kind of situation in frickin' farm kids show. Promise Neverland. Yeah. Where it's so we're gonna talk to you one-on-one and treat you a little different because congratulations. Yes. You've gotten farther than most.
Right.
However, you are not the first, you will not be the last, and you will not capsize this boat.
No. Definitely.
Right? Yeah. Like that's the vibe that I get here. It's
absolutely.
It could be great that she's seeing her. It could be terrible.
No, totally. But that has nothing to do with my points being lesser or more. It's the exposition is at times going to sneak by and give us little bits of things there, and then it's it's there, it's laden into our subconscious. When will it be brought up again? I personally have many issues with the way this world has left a couple of things just as open mystery boxes that we're not allowed to look in yet. And one of them, particularly, is the idea of this history being one where things have both devolved, but then we also have these isolated mini communities that are just ripe to have all kinds of manipulation done from outside it. And so when I look at this world from a perspective where I try to leave the characters' motivations out of it and just look at how it works. There are people outside this village that are running things, and the ethics committee and all that are not the end-all, be-all top thing here. They are all in the same boat, and the you will not sink this ship is not the, well, this is the only ship we have. It's no, this is our ship. We're on it with you. You cannot do this to us. We are a part of a fleet. Right. There are other ships that can come over here and be like, are you being a problem? Well, because we can sink you. We can sink it all and start over and do it over again. I very much get the vibe that this is not the last surviving members of the human race all in 7 villages. This is very much no, this is a specific area that has things going a certain way. Yeah. And it's because people decided it, and those people that decided it, I don't think would be able to keep this thing running if they were a part of the community.
Yeah, I think there's a very good possibility that there are other villages that maybe aren't exactly like
groups
this.
Of villages.
Or groups of villages. Yeah. Separate organizations of psychic alcoves, basically, where it's we are not going to be in trouble from the monster rats and things like that, but we need to make sure that our own respective ships are kept very tightly so that way we don't have karmic demon problems and stuff.
In that respect, it's actually a lot like Promise Neverland in my mind, where it's we choose somebody from within the system to run it.
Because you understand why it's important and all of that.
Right. You congratulations, you graduated up to that point. But no, you are not. You are not at the top, because that's another thing. I feel like human nature would win out, and these kinds of societies
would
fall apart way too quickly.
Right. Well, and that's why they need to. Yes, exactly. It's what's surprising is not the things that the society is doing now. It's the fact that the society was able to be stable long enough in order to make this system.
Exactly.
Right? The system
which means, in my opinion, there have been iterations that have
totally
failed and are not this one.
So something that I just thought of, I don't know why I only thought of this now. Yeah. But I don't think this is going to happen, but wouldn't it be crazy if the old grown-up Saki that we've been hearing about, it's not actually because they completely changed the system or whatever, but it's that they became integrated into the system.
That's something I thought
and
about.
And that's the creepy ending, and it's the no, but I know exactly why this system needs to be here, you know, and
yeah, that's a cool way to look at it. Yeah, because she doesn't seem to be in conflict.
Right, she is at peace. The older version of her that we hear.
Yeah,
it seems.
I personally think that she's going to attain the truth, basically.
Sure.
Over the course of the story.
That's what she's after, so it makes sense.
She's not going to die once we catch up to the narrator version of herself and then just be like, and I failed, you know? So she's going to succeed at whatever she's doing. Mm-hmm. But it's who is she going to be with, I think.
Right.
And
because she might be alone. And I would not be surprised.
There's a very real possibility that there's going to be only maybe one or two of her friends with her, or even around in the world in general.
Maybe the other one that's left alive is Mamoru because he just made the right call. Mm-hmm. You know?
Possible. Well, we know that, what's her name?
Maria. There was the whole deal of, like, it would be better if she hadn't been born.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, either
Maria's going to fuck up the whole thing.
Right, either she's gonna fuck up the whole thing, or she did already in just a very innocuous way.
We're seeing it all play out.
Uh-huh.
But can we talk about one last thing here? It's the idea of people being like, you're strong because you're suffering right now, in pain, but you're actually handling it super well. Mm-hmm. But you're freaking out right now, and that's causing other people to freak out. So I need you to basically let them be weak, and that's okay. This is something that I'm so glad this show brought up, because there's a lot of people that deal with mental health issues, right?
Sure.
Lots of people. Mm-hmm. But the idea is that a lot of people are actually doing pretty well, notwithstanding the fact that they have mental health issues. They're medicating properly, whether that be through some kind of activity, actual medication, or what have you.
They figure out their own balance.
They figured out balance. Right, exactly. They're not living in pure suffering. There is suffering and pain involved, because what is life? Mm-hmm. But the idea is that they found a way to handle it, and that is not, I'm not wanting to say common, but that is not unextraordinary. No. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
that is something to be congratulated and celebrated and being like, good job, good for you. Not everybody is able to use the same things that you use, or even use it to the same ability.
And a lot of the times when people think about like anime uses the term strength a lot.
Yes,
I wish I wish I knew what the exact more meaning of it is in the Japanese language, because I feel like
it doesn't work as well in English.
It doesn't work as well in English. Yeah. It's a very common thing for me to sort of snicker at.
It's I want to get stronger.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like God damn it, what are you actually saying?
Yeah, right. there's some mistranslation that's happening here, you know.
Yeah.
But
or there's more complexity to what strength means in Japanese.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times when people think about something like that, it's something that's a lot flashier, right? It's
or at least that's how we see it.
Or that's how we see it, right?
Yeah.
But
there's a quiet strength.
There's a quiet strength too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the same way that Mamoru being like, I am weak right now, I am unsettled, and that it is okay to do that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The knowledge of knowing when you are at your limit and to do that is also a form of strength.
Well said.
To be in a situation where it's okay, I'm, I've figured out my own little balance. That is a commendable thing, and that is something that, because your own balance will be unique to you, not, it will be different from everyone else because your circumstances are different, the way that the tools that you have to deal with them are different, and who you are as a person and what balance means to you is also different, right? So it's it can feel sometimes like equivocating to be like, yes, then everyone's, strong in some way or whatever, but it's the acknowledgement of the individual flavor of what that strength is to you that's important, because people can still recognize it even if it's not something that they can that they can take for themselves or would even want to, right?
Yeah. In this case, for instance, Maria is in a middle ground here where she's actually super scared about all this stuff, but she has just enough kind of ability to keep herself calm that she's like, hey, I need you to respect what's going on with Mamoru right now.
Because you're kind of being a wrecking ball a bit.
You're kind of scaring him, but you're also not showing that you care about his feelings right now. one of the things that is very, very common, I've seen this is very, very common, especially nowadays, and people will basically bring up a thing of where it's the, hold on, I have come to an observation about something.
Okay.
I'm then going to interpret my observation through my worldview and all these lenses specific way, and I'm going to start applying it. The second you interpreted and then you applied it, you've basically then taken whatever you've observed and twisted it. You're no longer talking about truth anymore. You're talking about your perspective on a thing that could be true.
Right.
Now, this is where a lot of the discussion comes about, like follow your truth and stuff like that. But truth is not subjective. That is not the definition of the word. The idea is that basically you need to understand how much your perception alters your reality. So if you're going to then apply that perception into a judgment, a specific thing there, you are then going to find out that it doesn't work for some other people.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. It could work for some other people.
And it could be absolutely perfect for you.
Exactly. So there's plenty of times, and I know a lot of people are going to resonate with this part really strong, is that someone went through something really painful, horrible, some form of suffering. They basically what they're all going through right now. The way in which they then process the info, observe, process, interpret, and then apply is going to be different. You will rarely, if ever, see people use the exact same method. And then the annoying thing is that people who have then gone through that process will then say, I know exactly how you can deal with this because it worked for me. Right. No, that is
even
not
if that's
how that works.
It's
not how that works. And I can bet I could just call for people in the comments and be like, let me know how many times you've heard someone say, if you do things in this way, it will work this way for you. And you legitimately believed them. You tried it out with the best of intentions. You put everything into it and it did not work. And immediately thought, wait a minute, like, is it wrong? Is something wrong with me?
Yeah.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
You're judging yourself by the wrong metric.
Yeah. That is something that society fails individuals constantly with regards to things and stuff like this. And this is a cool little way in which they can use the idea of memory manipulation and brainwashing and all this fanciful, crazy stuff to get at the idea that, hey, Saki, you're actually really strong.
Yeah.
This is kind of why you're the protagonist, actually. You're dealing with a lot of shit right now, and yet you're actually holding together really well. And I'm not saying you're cold. She literally says, I'm not saying you're a cold, unfeeling person. You're actually way more sensitive to this than a lot of us are. But it's the idea that just because you're sensitive to it doesn't mean you're necessarily able to understand when other people aren't able to handle it. So cool.
That's something that can be super intimidating when you see it from the outside, right? Because you're like, what's going on? Like, it makes me think of the Hanakawa stuff in Monogatari, where it's like that's actually kind of like monstrous in its own right to be able to just do that unerringly, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that in Saki's case, maybe because of the situation with her plural siblings, right?
Yep.
It's been something that she has had to grow accustomed to and build a tolerance for, even if she doesn't remember it happening.
Maybe there are neural pathways that have already been established because of previous experiences. Where once something like this happens, she just goes, "Oh, yeah, I go this way. I've already made that decision before. I'm not scared of it. It's not the unknown, actually. I don't remember it, but it is not an unknown."
Right.
And there is something so cool and fascinating they could get into psychologically with these characters, where it's the, wait, why am I remembering this now? But not the Attack on Titan style, but the, wait.
Why do I know what to do in this situation?
Why do I know what to... Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's a good way to do it.
The lack of subconscious fear, right? Like they went into the whole idea of subconscious fear in the previous episode a ton. Totally makes sense that would be a huge thing in this world. But what happens if you have a situation where someone just sort of doesn't have to deal with that because maybe they already dealt with it, and you can't actually take that away because...
Or maybe that's even the goal of the society, is to give them the idea to experience these things, then give them an easy way out through brainwashing so that the consequences are not damaging, but then their brains recognize it as, no, when that thing comes about, things just work out. It's fine. So then they don't get more afraid in their subconscious. So then the outside world becomes less and less populated with horrific things.
Maybe.
And Oh my God, that could be, that would be wild.
There really is that part of me that's just thinking like, okay, maybe the show isn't going to go here, but maybe this is just another Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I think you're exactly right, but it's just the...
Saki is one of those edge case scenarios maybe for Tuesday.
This is leap year's Tuesday, you know?
Sure, yeah.
It's like once every, maybe twice a decade, this happens, and it's the, yeah, do you remember back in 03? Yeah, I remember 03. That was a pretty rough earthquake. Yeah. It's just one of those.
Oh, yeah, I've dealt with this a couple times before.
Yeah, I mean, and it could be a natural disaster thing, where it's the, oh, shit, do you remember the 9.0? Yeah, that changed us forever.
Right. What did we learn from that?
But what did we learn from that? Exactly. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of really interesting things that you could tie this actually to natural disasters, which is the, those changed entire countries. And also, like, so from the U.S.'s perspective, Hurricane Katrina is a great example of this. That changed Florida as a state forever. That changed a bunch of islands in the Caribbean forever. It was a horrific event. But because of that, all of the responses and the infrastructure to hurricanes specifically are way better than they were back then. Not just because of the passage of time and we learned from our mistakes, but because of that one specifically.
Right. Where there wasn't the infrastructure and all that stuff.
Or it was there and it was not enough. Right. Meaning that the ties that we thought it could be, we're like, but we've never had one that's gone above this.
But
so
what if that thing did happen?
What if it did happen?
Yeah.
What if the odd, 1 in 1,000, it did? Well, it did.
Well, and what if suddenly those hurricanes are then people?
Yeah.
Like when it's suddenly like, okay, so...
Yeah, we have things in place. We have barriers. We have stuff like that.
But then it's like, wait. Hurricane Katrina is saying, I think that these containment, things are a bit like
small.
Well, no. They're impinging on my individuality as a person.
You're just going all the way into the personality.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like,
Hey, you could get in some really interesting ethics discussions here in the next episode. So, y'all. Next episode is going to be wild, and
yes,
thank you so much for going through all this discussion here. You're awesome. You're one of those ones. Shows like this are the kind of ones that we really have like almost like a love-hate relationship with, where it's oh god,
that's a great
these shows are so exhausting because they demand so much of us, and yet it's the oh my god, this is the kind of stuff we get to talk about now. Yeah, that's so cool.
I'm always both excited and dreading Shinsekai Yori episodes because I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be some cool stuff that we get into, and like really questions that are asked and everything. But then at the same time, I'm like, but I'm going to need to recover afterwards. Like I'm going to need to take a nap. And like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info is in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.